everyone. It's Kelly with Women for One, and happy May Day. It's May 1st, 2015, and I am really excited today to be speaking with a powerful woman that's very aligned with what we're doing at Women for One. Her name is Angelia White, and she is the publisher, president, and CEO of Hope for Women magazine. I just love that name, Hope for Women. Her passionate dedication towards the magazine has been evolving for almost a whole decade, and Angelia is proud to see her hard work come to fruition. I know how that feels. Not only does she oversee the workings of Hope, but she also strategically brings her experience to the scene. And she has a background in publishing and is the owner and president of Virtuous Publications, which serves as the magazine's publishing company. So welcome, Angelia. I'm really excited to be speaking with you, and I'd like to get a little more into the Hope for Women magazine. But first, our site and our community is all about women sharing their stories. So can you give us a little background on who Angelia is and how you came to create this powerful magazine?
Well, thank you so much, Kelly, for allowing me to be on your guest on your show on today. I've been really, really excited about it all week long and all morning, so I'm really grateful. I am a mother of four. I live in Indiana, Muncie, Indiana, and I have been married for almost 24 years. And when I was 35 years old, I had lost my grandmother and I lost my father within the 2-month span. And just with those incidents occurring, just me all was like my defining moment in my life where I had to ask myself, what is your purpose? What are you here for? Once that question, came to my mind, I started to act upon it. And it was actually May of 2005. So this month is our 10 years celebration month. So I'm really excited.
Congratulations. That's really exciting.
Thank you. And so at that point, I was the Sunday school teacher. I was the choir director. I was all these things. I had just the normal, life, was just ordinary. And one day, actually, I was sitting in church, and that's when I had that moment when I looked around, I'm like, what am I doing? I'm just busy existing instead of living. I want to start living my life. And so I stepped out on faith and just began threw out a way, well, how can I empower women? What is missing? I always wanted to do a newsletter. So I said, well, let me do a newsletter for 50 to 100 women. And so I started that, thinking of how to do a newsletter. But deep down inside, I had a bigger calling to do the magazine. I'm like, I don't know how to do no magazine. I haven't had no journalism. I don't know. No. But I knew that there was it was something missing in the marketplace where women were coming together. You have all these fashion magazines and all these other magazines on the newsstand, but you didn't have women connecting, a diverse group of women from all backgrounds and cultures coming together to empower and inspire each other. Mm-hmm. So that's where the concept, and that's where it all began. And I just went on this journey, and the journey, actually, Kelly, has been about me. And on the journey is about my life and how I'm transitioning, how I learned to love myself. But in the course of my journey, I picked up other women who were having some of the same issues, learning to love confidence, wanting to launch a business, and they did it. They started having faith and they started believing themselves. Mm-hmm. So this is what the makeup of Hope magazine. It's kind of like you're walking on the street, and all of a sudden, women start joining you because we're on the same path. We may, be of different cultures, ethnicities, religions, or race, whatever, but we really all have something in common. We have the same kind of goals.
I love that you're saying this, because that's exactly how Women for One happened with me. And I think it's really important. I mean, Women for One is about women that are ready to make life happen. And what that means for me is that powerful place where they can live their passion and do what they're called to do. And really with no preconceived notion about it, but really doing it from the right place. And it sounds like that's what you did.
I did.
Yeah, it's beautiful what you did. And so what happened then? I mean, it's kind of exploded, hasn't it?
It has,
in a good way.
It kind of shocked me. I was like, okay, where are these people coming from? But it was like a magnet. And, from that time, I learned I had to learn the publishing industry. I had to learn the language, the game, just everything with publishing, and was able to start connecting with a lot of fabulous women such as yourself, and just, as you were just saying, we all have the same goals, and and that's what made it so exciting, is because we all have the same mission and goal. And so Hope has been that platform for us to be able to share health stories, lifestyle stories, and just good stories of women of hope that have overcome, obstacles and challenges that, we don't, it doesn't matter if you're an A-list celebrity or we just want the story. We want that good, empowering story. So, and that's what's been very, very important to me with my team and my writers. I'm like, everyone is important. Everyone matters. Everyone has a story. It doesn't matter if they've been, profiled on some of the top blogs or whatever. Everyone has a purpose and everyone has a story. So through that course, we when we first launched in the first year, we were on the newsstand. So, we had I think at that time we had maybe 10 to 15,000 magazines being circulated throughout the borders and Barnes and Nobles, and there throughout Canada. Have people over in the various countries that still follow Hope, and it just let me know, and it was an assurance that this is what I was supposed to be doing. I mean, I went through the whole recession,
right?
It was really hard. I was sharing with someone how there were days, Kelly, when I didn't even want to crawl out the bed. I was just like, I don't know if I really want to do this. But then you get that email or you get that letter in the mail from someone, a woman in prison, and my aunt or my mom sent this to me, your magazine to me in the mail, and that inspired me. And so then you say, I got to keep doing this.
I love that you said that, because I mean I've actually never spoken to someone that's done something and it's been so aligned with me, because a lot of times I had a rough year last year, right? We all have rough years. And I the first couple of years people were like, how are you getting to speak to all these people? And I'm like, I just asked them, and I was always told to just put it out there, so I do. But then I overextended myself last year, and I'm a mom of 6 kids, so I was a little overwhelmed. And last year I took on too much, and it was stressful, and I was like, gosh, do I want to be doing this still? And then you get those letters, like you said, and you get those emails, and it does change women's lives to be able to share that powerful experience that changed their life and to connect them with others. Don't you agree?
I agree. 100%. I do.
So with Hope for Women, I mean, what I love is that it's unique, and you wrote this, and I want to read it because it really struck me. It's unique to other women's lifestyle magazines because it celebrates all womankind. I love that, because Women for One, our differentiator is we don't differentiate. We accept every single story. We're not a blog that doesn't accept a story. We accept every woman's experience. And I love that you do the same, regardless of culture, age, creed. You serve as a support for every woman. And it just gets me, as you can tell, I'm very excited. And I don't usually get this excited on interviews, but it's great that there are other women out there doing this from a different angle. So what would you say Hope for Women, that term, like that term hope, means to you? I'm sure you've been asked that before.
Hope means to me, and there is, of course, the history of where hope came from, and it all really stems from, because as a child, I was abused. I was sexually molested by several family members, and it was I'm a 70s child, so people didn't talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it happened. I knew it never would happen again because I knew my father, my mom, and that I had a good support group. Knew it never would happen again. But as I got older, like in my 30s and my 20s, it was like, okay, you know, just what is really going on with me? You know, I didn't have an identity. That's where I was having problems with my confidence and all those sorts of things. And so with Hope, when I was talking to my mentor, and I didn't have a name for the magazine. And well, the name that I did have, it just wasn't inclusive of all women, and it was very important to me and vital early on. I said, well, I have to have something that's going to include all women, because it's not a certain color issue. It's a magazine that I just want to empower, just want everyone to feel like they're a part of. So he told me, I want you to dig deep, deep, deep into your soul and begin to think about your life, your child. And, he didn't know any of this. He said, and if you could summarize it in one word, what would it be? I mean, you could close your eyes, one of those type of things. And the tears really began to stream from my eyes and on my face. And I opened my eyes and said, Hope for Women magazine. And that was it.
Isn't that awesome? You were like this channel for God, just came straight through you.
Came straight through.
Well, I mean, wow. That's a great story. That's so what if someone went to your magazine, what would they find? Like when you picked up your or went online, obviously it's an online magazine now. Went online, what would they find?
They will find on our magazine, they will actually find they can have access to our digital. We do have a digital version, and we will be launching a summer issue in print. So they will be able to have the magazine in print. And then
cool.
having a discussion, too, that with our fall issue, we're actually going to relaunch the magazine towards the end of the year, because most people it's something about they want that hard copy. Our readers want it. So we want to be able to provide what they want. So if they go there now, they'll find all kind of, interviews and features on women in career and business that are empowering other women. Everything on Hope on our website is about inspiring, empowering every women. We shy away from a lot of them. We really don't do any. We talk some controversial topics, but we always bring it back to hope.
We don't I love that.
No celebrity gossip, and
that's nice.
None of those sorts of things. So it's all about hope. We talk about, we don't get into all the, what different keeping up with this family and all that stuff.
Well, it's a magazine. It's a magazine of integrity and inspiration. It feels like, yeah,
exactly. And so, when we do our photo shoots, and we actually did a feature, a fashion shoot. The first fashion shoot that I really felt good is because this model, she wasn't in a top, elite modeling agency or anything, but she's just beautiful. And she's an everyday woman, and she has the passion and desire to become a model. She looks like a model to me. She looks good. But this was her first magazine spread in Hope in our spring issue. And, you're talking about just lit up and just so excited about being featured. She has just been, just very grateful that we gave her the opportunity. And that's what you'll find throughout the pages of Hope and also on our website.
That's beautiful. I mean, what makes me think of it, because I'm a big O magazine reader, and I'm also a more magazine reader, because I'm,
those are my favorites too.
I'm approaching 50. So I'm right there, and I'm like, I'm really loving more these days. More has even surpassed O for me, to be honest. And
I love it.
Yeah, and it's those are the kind of magazines that they celebrate women's empowerment. And would you equate yourself with something like that? Is that so our community understands?
I think so. I think if we really had to say, well, who are you associated? It definitely would be More Magazine and O Magazine. Those are some of the ones I absolutely love. So.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I just love reading them, because what I love about, and I can't wait to read more of yours, is the highlights of ordinary women that are extraordinary. I almost like that. Like I've talked to a lot of well-known people, but when you talk to that very grounded, powerful woman that has pulled herself up, like, what you've been through, I've been through some very similar circumstances than you as well, when I was younger. And when you talk to them, it's so inspiring, because it's like, if she can do it, I can do it. Does that,
Absolutely. And we can. We absolutely can. And that's what's so important, is for us to continue to share our stories and make those connections so that we can empower someone else. I get tons of emails from other magazine publishers, and the last thing they say, oh, I'm so glad that you really shared with me, and that, you don't feel like we're in competition. I go, oh, absolutely not. Everyone has something that an audience, or they have their own specific niche. And if you do what your purpose and your calling is, then you don't have to worry about anything else.
Isn't that the truth? I wish more. And I see, as I'm running Women for One and kind of being the channel for Women for One, I see more. I draw more of that to me, like women that aren't competitive, women that are inspiring and empowering and uplifting one another. And I love that, because I think that's where we need to be moving towards, not celebrity gossip and following families and these reality shows. I think staying aligned and empowerment, and highlighting the true women of this world that are uplifting it with leadership and love and power. Wouldn't you say?
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree 100%.
So I noticed that, are you doing any conferences as well? I saw a conference on your site. I just wanted to talk to you about that.
Every time you say conference, I'm like, okay. So we're doing our first conference this year. And it's so funny, is because I don't know how many times the team has said, Angelia, you have got to chill. It's going to work out just fine. So after 10 years, we're going to meet in Indianapolis, Indiana, this summer, July the 17th and 18th, for our first conference. It was a 2-day conference, really a 1-day, but then, VIP on Friday. So we are bringing the women who have followed hope throughout the 10 years.
Wow.
It's very important that we're bringing all these women together and having an empowerment, workshops and, a way for us to connect and give back, and just to celebrate one another for them being a part of, the vision of the magazine and just the overall brand for the past 10 years.
That is exciting. That's a lot of work, but it's exciting. Yeah, but you're living your dream, it sounds like. And do you have any future plans for what you're just going to keep on going? You obviously have this print magazine coming out, so that's again coming out. Because go ahead.
Well, I'm sorry. For so long, Kelly, I just thought, well, it was the magazine. But over the course of time, I realized it was just, the magazine was just a platform and a stepping stone for, the bigger things, the big picture, Sometimes I'm like, oh, please, I can't do that, But it's always bigger than what you can imagine. And to me, that big picture is bringing the pages of the magazine to life. So we're working on Hope TV. It's been in the works for the last, 3 to 5 years, that I'm working to try to bring, our own television segments and talk shows and, just everything about hope in television. So that's what's been really exciting.
That is very exciting. And speaking of hope, I feel like it's fitting to just bring this up. I saw your blog recently about that picture and of that beautiful 4-month-old baby that was found in Nepal.
Isn't that amazing?
I actually started crying when I saw that. I was in tears. And so I just wanted maybe you to just talk about that for a minute, what you wrote, because it was beautiful.
Well, it was just, just my, with everything that's kind of going on in the world at the moment, it's because this was a lot going on. And also what we do is we forget that we have to give. I'm a giver by nature. And so, I wanted just to stress to the readers that, just in my blog, how important it was to give back, because I'm just not selfish. And, a lot of times we can do more with helping individuals instead of always being on the receiving end. So that was the purpose of that blog. And I was kind of all in my feelings and everything and emotions,
It was a miracle. It was truly a miracle, that baby. If for our community that hasn't seen it, there was this picture of a baby that was brought from the rubble of the earthquake in Nepal. And, for 22 hours for this beautiful baby to be totally fine and be loved and be celebrated, it gave hope. That's a fitting word. It gave Nepal hope, that baby did. Don't you think, in the teenager that was found?
I think so. And then we didn't share the other image, but it shows the picture of the image of him, him and his mom. But like his mom, they said when he reunited with his mother, he just his whole face just lit up. I was just like, wow, that's just so amazing to me. Okay, I was trying not to start crying because it's just so amazing. This is awesome.
Yeah, and I just love it because now I'm all hooked on that word hope. Like, talk about bringing hope to the world. That baby brought hope to Nepal, and for the world to see that they can give to this cause, and they know that it will bring something, and be able to join in that hope, because hope is so inspiring. So thank you for that. I appreciate that from you. And so, how can our community get involved? Where do we go, and how can we subscribe, and is there a cost? I just wanted to kind of have you tell the details.
Okay. You can go to our website, which is www.hopeforwomenmag.com, and throughout the website, you'll see a place to join our newsletter. And right now, if you join our newsletter, you will have instant access to the various e-blasts and just the messages of hope, as we call them, that we're getting ready to start more of, and have access to the digital component of the magazine and just everything that you need to know. Right now, the magazine, there's no charge. In the coming months, we'll be sharing more information about the subscribe for the print issue, which is going to be fabulous, which I'm really excited about the summer issue, because I had a chance to sit down, Kelly, and speak with the founder and CEO of 31 Gifts. We all like those handbags.
Right, right.
Yeah. So I was able to speak with their CEO. So she's our cover girl for this summer.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's going to be a great, issue. And I had a great time talking with her. So that's an issue that, your listeners can, that will be able to have access to purchase. And then to get a subscription of the magazine.
Okay, great. That sounds wonderful. So thank you so much. It was so great to connect with you, and I wish you the best success. And I'm really inspired to have someone else doing such incredible, empowering work for women to give all of us more hope for the world. So thank you, Angelia.
Thank you so much, Kelly. It's so wonderful to be able to connect with you.
Yeah, take care. All right, community. Yeah. Community, we love you. We're thinking of you. Stay tuned, because we have some incredible things coming for this year for Women for One. So check out our website, and I can't wait to talk to you again.